The Chevrolet Blazer is one of those names that carries weight in the car world. It's a name with decades of history, born in an era of big, boxy SUVs that didn't care about aerodynamics and wouldn't know a touch screen if it hit them in the grille. Over the years, the Blazer's personality has shifted, disappeared, and then reappeared in a form that made some fans cheer and others scratch their heads. But now, here we are, in 2026, and the Blazer is back again, only this time, Chevrolet clearly wants to silence every critic who said the modern Blazer was just another soft crossover in a crowded market. This is the boldest, most tech-heavy, and arguably the most polarizing Blazer yet, and there's a lot to unpack. Let's start with the obvious, looks. The 2026 Chevrolet Blazer doesn't tiptoe into the room, it kicks the door down. The design team has doubled down on the aggressive, athletic styling they started in recent years, but this time, they've sharpened every edge and dropped the stance just enough to make it look like it's ready to pounce. The front fascia is a full-width statement piece, with a split headlight design that makes it look almost futuristic, and a massive grille that blends into slim, LED daytime running lights. And here's the kicker: depending on the trim, that grille changes personality completely. The RS trim gets a blacked-out, sinister look that could be mistaken for a performance F, while the Premier leans more toward upscale chrome accents, almost flirting with luxury territory. But looks can only get you so far, and Chevy knows that. Under the hood, the Blazer lineup has been refined and expanded for 2026. At the heart of the range, you've got a 2.5-litre turbocharged four-cylinder pushing around 250 horsepower, tuned for efficiency and city-friendly torque. But for those who want more muscle, the Blazer RS and SS trims step in with a 3.0-litre twin-turbo V6 that delivers well over 400 horsepower and a snappy 0 to 60 in the mid-4-second range when equipped with all-wheel drive. Chevy isn't calling it a track SUV, but make no mistake, this thing has the chops to embarrass some performance sedans. And yes, for the first time, Chevrolet is offering a plug-in hybrid version, pairing that Turbo 4 with an electric motor for a combined output of around 320 horsepower, plus an estimated 40 miles of all-electric driving for the daily grind. Now, let's address the handling. The 2026 Blazer doesn't just rely on straight-line speed to make its case. The chassis is stiffer, the suspension has been retuned, and the RS and SS trims benefit from adaptive dampers that actively adjust to driving conditions. Steering feel has been sharpened finely, and the weight distribution is just enough to make the Blazer feel composed in corners. It's not pretending to be a Corvette, but compared to the outgoing model, this one feels more planted and eager when you push it. Even the base trims feel tighter and more connected than you'd expect in this segment, which means Chevy's engineers have been paying attention. Inside, the Blazer has undergone a full tech and comfort overhaul. Step in and you're greeted with a massive 17-inch center touchscreen angled toward the driver, paired with a fully digital 12-inch gauge cluster. The software is snappy, the graphics are crisp, and the interface feels more intuitive than in previous GM systems. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are wireless and standard across the board, but Chevy didn't stop there. They've built in their new Google-based infotainment architecture, which means you get integrated Google Maps, Google Assistant, and over-the-air updates to keep the system fresh years down the road. Materials have taken a serious step up, too. Soft touch surfaces dominate the cabin, real aluminium trim is available, and the higher trims even offer optional suede inserts and contrast stitching. The RS trim has a sporty, almost cockpit-like vibe, with bolstered seats that hug you in corners, while the Premier goes for a quieter, more refined atmosphere with heated, ventilated, and massaging front seats. And because this is 2026, yes, There's ambient lighting, and yes, it changes colors with drive modes or to match your mood, because why not? Space is generous for a midsize SUV. The rear seats have plenty of legroom, and the cargo area is wide and flat, with clever underfloor storage for road trip essentials. Fold the rear seats down and you've got a cavernous space for hauling just about anything short of a full sheet of plywood. And for the tech crowd, there are USB-C ports in every row, a wireless charging pad up front, and an optional 16-speaker Bose performance audio system that can turn this SUV into a rolling concert hall. Safety tech has become a battlefield in the SUV market, and Chevy has armed the 2026 Blazer accordingly. Standard across the range are automatic emergency braking, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, blind spot monitoring, and rear cross-traffic alert. But move up the trim ladder, and you unlock Chevy's Super Cruise hands-free driving system, which now works on over 800,000 miles of mapped roads across the US and Canada. It's smooth, it's confident, and it's one of the most advanced systems on the market, even if you're the type who insists on keeping both hands on the wheel. Pricing hasn't been officially announced for every configuration, but Chevy has hinted that the base model will start just north of $36,000, with the plug-in hybrid hovering around $42,000. And the fully loaded Blazer SS flirting with $55,000 to $60,000 depending on options. That puts it squarely in competition with the Ford Edge Street, the Hyundai Santa Fe Hybrid, and even entry-level luxury SUVs like the Acura RDX. Here's where the Blazer really starts to stand out. Chevy isn't just selling a daily driver, they're selling an image. The 2026 Blazer, especially in RS and SS trims, is marketed as the SUV for people who want practicality without giving up excitement. It's the kind of vehicle you could take to work all week and then drive up a winding mountain road on the weekend just to feel that surge of turbocharged torque. It's not trying to be a hardcore off-roader like a Wrangler or Bronco, but with available all-wheel drive and a decent ground clearance, it's perfectly capable for dirt roads, snowy winters, and the occasional trail adventure. Fuel economy is respectable for its size and power. The Turbo 4 models are expected to return mid-20s in combined driving, the V6 comes in closer to the low 20s, and the plug-in hybrid offers a compelling blend of efficiency and flexibility. And while we're talking numbers, towing capacity tops out at around £5,000 for the V6 AWD models, more than enough for a small boat, a pair of jet skis, or a lightweight camper. Of course, no car is perfect, and the Blazer still has some quirks. The sloping roofline that makes it look so aggressive also eats into rear visibility, and while the interior is much improved, the lower trims still have some hard plastics in places you wish they didn't. And then there's the fact that the Blazer name will forever be tied to its boxy, old-school predecessors, which means some diehards will never accept this as a real Blazer, no matter how fast, capable, or high-tech it is. But here's the truth: Chevrolet didn't build the 2026 Blazer for purists. They built it for the market that exists right now, a market where buyers want style, performance, comfort, and technology all wrapped into one package. And in that arena, the Blazer makes a very strong case for itself. It's confident, it's capable, and it has just enough attitude to stand out without becoming a niche product. Chevy's gamble with the Blazer name a few years back might have ruffled feathers, but in 2026, they've refined the formula into something that feels much more cohesive. It's still sporty, still stylish, but now it has the performance, tech, and quality to back up the swagger. Whether you're after the efficient plug-in hybrid for commuting, the sporty RS for spirited drives, or the all-out SS for making a statement, there's a Blazer that fits the bill. And maybe that's the real magic here. The Blazer has become a shapeshifter, able to be a sensible family hauler one minute and a backroad thrill machine the next. Chevy has finally given it the hardware to match the looks, and that means it's not just a name from the past anymore, it's a contender for the future. In a market packed with choices, the 2026 Chevrolet Blazer just might be the one that gets people talking again. And in this business, that's half the battle won.